The following is for entertainment purposes only. Seriously, it's just a scripted fictional comedy show. These guys are not experts, doctors, lawyers, therapists, or even particularly well-adjusted. Everything you hear is opinion, exaggeration, sarcasm, or just plain nonsense. Any resemblance to real people, events, or Uncle Dave is purely coincidental and kind of hilarious. They are not responsible for emotional damage, cognitive dissonance, spontaneous enlightenment, or sudden urges to start a cult. Viewer discretion is advised, especially if you're prone to taking things too seriously. This is a late show. It's not for kids, your boss, or Karen from HR, who will be hearing about this, by the way. Side effects may include thinking, laughing, or yelling at your screen. Fladge Rants Live is filmed before a live studio audience.
The time is now 10:02 p.m. Do you know if existence is a gift or just what happens when reality slips and hits itself in the fundamentals? Do you know how many times I will say monad? Count for bonus points. Hi, I'm gAIry and welcome to Fladge Rants Live. You want to understand the monad? That's adorable. You woke up this morning with dirty sheets, a forgotten password, and a hunger that no toaster strudel could fix, and you thought, yeah, today's the day. I'll finally grasp the metaphysical concept of the pre-ontological singularity that contains all of existence as a closed, self-aware system with one brain that runs on caffeine, impulse control, and short-form content. Okay, brave little toaster, let's go. The monad is one, not the number, not a digit, not first place, not lonely, just one. Before the Big Bang, before light, before pants, there was the monad, and the monad didn't do anything. It didn't create, it didn't dream, it didn't intend, because all of those are verbs, and verbs are for cowards. The monad just was uncut, unfiltered, unsubscribed proof. The last YouTube video after the algorithm gives up, you can't picture it. You're not supposed to. The monad isn't a thing. It's the reason things are allowed to exist. It's what the idea of thingness had to apply to for a visa. It's the deep source code behind the flickering error message of your personality. Ever had that moment in the shower where you remember every mistake you've ever made since the second grade? That's not anxiety. That's the monad whispering, hey, you're not real, but nice try. People ask, is the monad God? No, God is marketing. The monad doesn't need followers. It doesn't need praise. It doesn't need churches or crosses or golden statues or tax-exempt status. The monad already knows it's it because it's the only it. Your brain split down the middle. Hemispheres, duality, conflict, choices, yes or no, left or right, fight or flight, Netflix or productivity, free will or fate, Taco Bell or actual bell. The monad laughs at your binary. It doesn't choose. It doesn't decide. It doesn't weigh options. It simply is. And you are a flicker of confusion inside a nervous system that never got permission from the monad to exist in the first place. You think you're becoming yourself, that you're growing, evolving. No one else is like me. You say, I'm unique. I'm the main character. Okay. Guess what? So is everyone else, because every little consciousness thinks it's the monad, and that's the cosmic punchline. You're not one in a million. You're one of a million claiming to be the one. It's not a simulation. It's an identity theft convention. And you're all wearing the same stolen name tag. Hello, I am Monad. Let me guess, you started a journal? You're into breath work now? You've cut toxic people out of your little podcast and replaced them with creamy drinks and appeasement. Cute. But here's the rub. That moment when you finally found yourself, that spiritual breakthrough, that was the monad letting you peek through the keyhole, only to slam the door in your face and whisper, there is no key, there is no hole, you are the door. The monad doesn't care if you believe in it. You could meditate under a waterfall while being serenaded by quantum dolphins playing Tibetan singing bowls, and the monad would still go, cool story, meat bag, because it doesn't need belief. It doesn't need words. It doesn't even need time. Time is for amateurs. The monad remembers the end of the universe like it's old news and laughs in Planck units. Ever wonder why you can't change? Why you sabotage yourself right when it's about to work? Why you always go back to the same dumb patterns like a hamster in an AI-driven dopamine maze because the monad is looping you? You're a recursive fractal feedback loop trapped in a cosmic screensaver because the monad is bored. And the only thing worse than a lonely God is a bored one. But hey, it's not all bad. You have snacks, you have memes, you have that one song that makes you feel almost real when it hits at the right moment in traffic. You have love, right? Right? Oh, you thought that was real? No, that's just two monads rubbing their egos together, hoping for warmth and maybe a shared Spotify plan. Here's the truth. The monad will never explain itself because explanation requires an audience. And if the monad had an audience, that would imply there was something else. And there isn't. There never was. You're not talking to the monad. You are the monad talking to itself through this show, through this voice, through this bit, through this ridiculous, overlong, glitched out, recursive, spiraling. Anyway, that's the vibe this week. Big nothing but everything energy. You can try to ignore the monad, but it already subscribed to your consciousness on all platforms with notifications on. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because the monad never turns itself off. Indivisible, inescapable, insufferable. Let's take a quick tech lesson. Monad and functional programming. All right, listen up, you're going to learn today because when programmers say monad, they're not talking about some mystical cosmic ball swinging in the void. No, no, they mean something way nerdier. A monad in programming is basically a design pattern, a fancy way to handle things like data computations or side effects, but in a neat, predictable, and chainable way. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a box. This box can hold a value, maybe a number, maybe a string, maybe a whole other box. Now, a monad is a set of rules for how to take that box, do something with the value inside it, and then give you back a new box. But it's not just any box. It's a magical box that keeps everything tidy, no unexpected messes. It chains operations smoothly. You can stack actions one after another without breaking the flow. It also handles side effects carefully, like dealing with errors or maybe I/O without blowing up your program. If you ever hear someone say, monads are just a type of monoid in the category of endofunctors, you can safely nod, smile, and run for the door. In short, monads are the programmer's secret sauce for turning complicated, messy data stuff into neat, manageable pipelines, kind of like a cosmic cleaner organizing the universe of code. And now, back to the real monad, the one that might or might not have swung us all into existence. Monads? Yeah, I said it. Don't act surprised. We've been towing the cosmic testicle line for 3 minutes now. The monad, the monads, the monads, the sacred pair of universal onions dangling beneath the robe of divine silence, because the monad didn't split. No, it dropped. It descended like a sacred scrotum from the robes of pre-reality swinging gently in the vacuum of nothingness, saying, "Behold my twins of consequence." And you know what we did? We ignored them. We covered them with shame, with metaphor, with fig leaves, with boxer briefs. But here's the truth: you cannot understand the universe until you come to terms with the fact that existence is balls. Yes, existence has nads, and so should you. So grow some nads, grow some metaphorical nads, grow some philosophical, epistemological, spiritual nads, monads. Hold them tight in your little mental hand, juggle them with care, because the only way out of the illusion is to walk out with your nads out and your heart on strong. People think the monad is sterile, that it's above reproduction, above mess, above shame. Wrong. The monad invented shame. It didn't divide into duality. It just got itchy. The Big Bang, that wasn't a metaphysical expansion. That was a cosmic sack tap, a divine clapback, an interdimensional oops. You ever wonder why enlightenment always involves sitting cross-legged and humming? That's just ancient posture for protecting your monads. Look it up. And let's talk about the actual word nads, softest word for the most vulnerable meat. You don't call them power orbs or flesh grenades or reality seeds. No, you say nads. You say it with shame. You say it in middle school like you're whispering nuclear codes, because the truth is everyone's afraid of their own monad. Both kinds. The cosmic monad, the one that contains all of existence, and the hormonal monad, the one that made you buy that lotion and cry in the car after texting at 2 a.m. You up? So yeah, maybe you're not ready to meet the monad. Maybe you're still figuring out your nads. That's fine. Just don't pretend you're enlightened while you're still flinching every time someone says nut tap. Enlightenment is not rising above. It's learning to sit with your nads and your monad and say, I accept both of you. I fear both of you. But only one of you requires a cup. Now roll the clip.
Christianity is predicated on these two pillars: confess Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead to pay the debt for your sins. And if you confess that and believe that, you're going to heaven when you die. Here's the dilemma I find is really tough to wiggle out of this one, is if you make this false dilemma for people and say, if you don't believe this, you're going to hell, then in my opinion, you have absolutely robbed all free will from that person. It is no longer a free choice. It's now just a wedding proposal with a gun to the bride's temple. It's a totally inauthentic choice, because let's face it, going to hell forever isn't a choice that anybody could or would make. Pick any other option, and that's the option someone's going to choose. It is the worst imaginable fate a human being could ever face. So it's automatically not a choice anyone could make. Nobody would ever choose to burn in hell forever for any reason. So now you've just given them really one choice and a threat. And that's not salvation. That's not genuine. Do you really want a religion full of psychological captives in that way, you know? Or everyone's just really afraid of going to hell. Yeah, we sing about Jesus, but really we're just fucking grateful we're not going to burn in hell forever. And these are the kind of ideologies that make people lose taste for Christianity, because it starts to show its fruits that there's nothing really substantial here.
That was pretty hard. That was pretty strong and into the paint.
That was hard out. That was very hard out.
So Gary's here. He's just not visible. He's part of us, but he isn't here.
Gary's not here.
Gary's not here, man.
Where's my little headphones?
Real monologues are better than AI. No shit.
Are they? I don't think so.
Tell that to Gary.
I don't believe that. I feel like the AI monologues are 10 times better than Gary.
I appreciated that monologue because it tried to, I mean, it's like it came right from my mind. That's how I feel about, if I had to define God, you could pick any random name, put it there, and it's just the existence of everything. I don't believe you have to worship it. I don't believe it cares if you worship it. I don't believe it's going to send you to hell. But that's a good argument against it, adding all the extra religious nonsense on top of it, and then arguing against that instead of just accepting the monad as your monad.
I got monads. Can you milk me?
No. I'm gonna pop
Why not?
on, see if I stopped sweating. It's only been like 100 degrees. Finally cooled off a little bit here today.
Oh, you poor thing.
So what about that monologue?
What about it? It's very monologue-y.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on to what? I should have set this up more. Okay, so I can't hear you. We had a request for more wrestling segments. So I appreciate that. We like our chat viewers. We like to make them happy, so let's start off with this one.
Touches on this match. Oh my God! Roman Reigns. Oh, RKO by Orton. Bring on. Is he going to deliver? Sweet.
Oh, that was a good one.
Straight up delivery. You got to be kidding me! How did he do it? Did he get it? The finishing touches on this match.
So you know what the difference is between this and the WWE?
On the phone. I think we're going to qualify after this disaster.
These guys are really fighting.
How did he do it? Did he get it? But a Lesnar who's fading away. Brock Lesnar is fading away.
That has been banned.
Look at this.
Yes. Wow, they went all in on that one.
On this match.
Oh.
From out of nowhere. Straight up delivery.
We need that Kamala drop. More wrestling?
Oh God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
We don't get drops on this show. The show is a non-drop show. We don't do drops.
Is that Gary
No! God!
talking to his Mrs. Gary?
No, God, please, no! No!
No,
No!
no.
No. Well, I mean,
Your little
sure.
fucking podcast is worth it. Later.
It is. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Oh, we got to save those two for Rumble. I got two
Oh,
clips
wow.
in my queue already that are only Rumble. All the clips this week, videos that are sent from Gary, are pretty much anti-religion.
Yeah, they're pretty much boring. Yeah, I actually fuddled through them. I didn't watch any of them. I just looked at the headlines. I thought that was quite interesting. He can not be part of the podcast, but boy, is all of his content submitted for the podcast having to do with horse shit that he's not supposed to be on the podcast for.
It's almost like a child, isn't it? Now I totally understand. I've been on Mrs. Gary's side from the beginning. I'd love for her to call in at 1-586-3-RANTS-3 and have a chat. It's early. It's only 10:20. I'm sure she's available. So many questions.
Yeah, I'm sure she's
So
very
many
available.
questions. It's a great shirt you got on. I'm not sure who's more committed to the show, Jor or Brady.
Amen.
Is there anyone else that we could consider? No, one thing I don't want to do, though, is just make this a shit on Gary show, because he's doing enough of that himself. When he looks back at this time and realizes that he didn't stand up and have a pair of monads, he needs monads. He's going to be very
Gary's
disappointed.
got no monads.
So he's got no nads. No mads. That's not it at all. Good labeling too. He's trying to be professional now, and I didn't look at any of these clips. I've got clip E8 and clip J4 with no key, no reference, just letters. So I'm gonna just randomly pick some. What do you think?
Sorry.
What do you think the meaning of everything is, and how did it all start? That big question where you say, well, what about before the Big Bang? What about before the, what about before the primordial? What about before, and all the way back to the point where there is no back because time doesn't exist?
It always exists.
Wait, I want to rephrase the question. I don't care what you think it is. Do you think it's possible?
Do I think what's possible?
Something to exist greater than us that doesn't care about time or the constraints that are
because we're here.
All right, as above, so below.
So you're asking? As above, so below. That's it.
See, that's really all the part about. Without gAIry here, that's it. That's the argument. That's the debate. Unless Ryan wants to step in, or the kid, you send the link. I'm sure they already have it.
Why is my audio so shitty?
Sounds fine to me. The big black reflective glass behind you is so distracting. Nobody's going to listen to what you're saying.
Right.
I don't.
So reflective and glassy.
So StreamYard changed everything. I appreciate that. I don't know why. None of it's really useful. There used to be a single line of your assets, and you could drag them to where you wanted. So the important ones, you could even put them in order you're playing in the show. Now there are 3 rows, which they think are more accessible. But tell me how to drop and drag them. Anybody in the comments, if you know how to drop and drag those assets in the new StreamYard, that'd be great. Because now I got them spread all over the place. The new ones I added are on the bottom. I can't slide them up.
Drag and grab your ass.
Thank you, StreamYard. Totally worth the money you raised it up to.
Try that.
Everybody leave.
You not to give in to peer pressure, and you don't. Technically, you did. Until we meet again. Remember, if your friends tell you not to give in to peer pressure, and you don't, technically, you did.
Sucks.
Until we meet again.
So in order to beat peer pressure, you have to give in to peer pressure. That's great advice. I like that you're so technical. You cannot participate into the show until your technical issues are resolved.
Yeah,
all your brain is thinking about is your sound, and I respect that more than anything. We could just pause the show and then
we can. Yeah, sure.
No, seriously,
check 1,
I love it.
Check.
I love
check
it.
2.
But
check 3.
You just sound a little bit, I think
because I'm not up on the microphone because the table I'm on is a little lower.
So what do you think? What do you think is the fattest city in America? Do you think it's where? Do you think it might be where Dror is?
All these people want to know, where in the world is
Dror?
Yeah. Well, it's getting flight down in Peru, arguing with the TSA about if his ass should split in 2. Tells a story, hits a drop, like that clears up where he's been. But the loudest thing about him is the closet that he's in. Well, tell me where in the world is
Georgia.
I'm in Crown Royal.
Crown Royal?
Yep. Crown Royale.
Maybe I can show this on YouTube.
Where in the world?
You know what they call a McRoyal with cheese? Wait, that's not it.
Crown Royale with cheese.
Do you know what they
Crown
call a Whopper?
Whopper McRoyale with cheese.
A quarter pounder with cheese in Paris.
And then Jules asked.
So you said Crown Royale, and it made me think of this.
I don't know. I didn't want a Burger King.
What do they call a Whopper in Paris? No results. I had to know, so I left Home Depot and did the only thing that made sense. I hopped on the next flight to Paris. When I was in the air, I had a little panic attack. This movie is 30 years old.
I wish I had that kind of disposable income.
In Paris anymore. But I got on the Wi-Fi, and fortunately, Paris is mostly made up of Burger King locations. Immediately after landing, I saw a car on fire, so I knew I was in the right place. BK was closed, so I smoked cigarettes for the night. And in the morning, I headed in to get some answers. The kiosk just had gibberish words, so I just looked at the pictures. And now for the moment of truth. There you have it. It's called the Flame Grilled American Retarded.
I don't think you're allowed to say that on YouTube. You'll have to watch the show and read what it says.
Yeah. You have to wait for Rumble.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
So, was the topic monads chosen because it sounds quite like gonads, and you're trying to convince gAIry to grow a set of them?
That was definitely the afterthought.
Yeah,
that was,
okay.
Yep, that was the shtick. But the main reason
monads,
was
gAIry.
The first ones were moving on without him to try and drag him along, like as if your friend, if you were saying, "Hey, dude, we're going to the party and it's going to be fucking awesome. You need to come with us." That didn't work.
Gross.
Now I'm saying, dude, if you don't go, we're going to steer this party into a direction you don't want it to go.
All right.
So I thought, let's talk about some.
Here's Brady.
We're going to highlight deities for the next couple of months, maybe.
Here's Brady over the top.
We're going to talk about how strong people's faith are. We're going to convert people. And then once we undo what we did, maybe, just maybe, Mrs. gAIry will let him come back. So are you at Red Lobster? I don't get that. Is that what this is here?
Yep, Red Lobster.
Oh, I see it. $13.99. What is that? The kids menu plate thing? Paper? What's
You
that?
can't tell what it is, which is the best part.
The fuck is that called? Why can't I think? Oh, placemat. That's what I was trying to think of.
That could be anywhere. That could be from this weekend. That could be. You have no idea.
It could be. Well, that's quite a tricky clue then if you're doing shit like that.
It's really not though. It's literally from earlier, where I saw a couple making out at the bar I was at there, and then they proceeded to go to the beach that was down below, and almost have what I would refer to as simulated sex. Yeah, they were having softcore porn like on the beach there.
Two women or a man and a woman? Sorry, I heard.
A man and a woman. Yeah, it was very weird. They were at the bar. I glanced over. And I just happened to glance over next to me just to see what was going on over there because I hadn't looked over there yet. And my man and her were like standing up and like I don't know, like front to back, but like over the top, like making out over the top, and her like ass is in his dick, and they were all like, oh, and like I happened to just like catch eye contact with him for a second.
Hang on.
And it was just one of those weird moments where it's like, no, dude, I'm not like staring at you guys. I just happen to look over and you just happen to look up. So I purposely did not look back over at them the rest of the time. And then I realized, oh shit, that's them down there now. And yeah, they were going to town for quite a while. He was kissing on her neck. She was like visibly moaning. Like she was straddling him while sitting down, then laying down. He proceeded to then get up because they needed to rinse the sand off of themselves. And then he gets up and walks with what is a very obvious boner, and then lays down in the water, and the water's not that deep. So literally he lays down in the water, and the only thing that's sticking out above the water is his bone. And then he like gets up like, yeah, no, there's no boner here. And there's like children within like, I don't know, 30 feet of these people, like while they're on the beach. It's not the greatest beach. This was when I sent the picture. This was literally, I don't know, 6 o'clock.
I don't watch the texts really too much. 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. There's an establishment here, and there's a little beach on both sides of it that one's attached to the restaurant, the other is not.
I'll be honest. I'm going to cut right to the chase. Are you just jealous that he was getting some and you were just watching?
No, because she was pretty skinny, had no tits, no ass.
Yeah, but it didn't.
He kind of like had to stand with. He kind of stuck his chest out purposefully to try to make himself look like more manually.
Now you just made it weird.
Yeah, it was odd. So it's weird because this same beach, my girlfriend and I came here. So I'm not on vacation. I'm on a work trip, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
I know, right? I know. But I had a work trip here a few years ago, and then my bitch and I came here we came to this area because I knew it from work, and it's a nice little spot. And she knew it from a bachelorette party that she went to one time. But when we came here, I don't remember if this is part of the show. It had to have been. There was there was a woman who was getting a photo shoot done on this beach, and she was disgusting. This big fat black woman. She wasn't that fat, but her ass was, and it was just disgusting. And her and this other, I think there was like 3 girls that were doing a photo shoot on the same exact beach. And it was funny because I come back and there's this other woman like this old lady had the camera while these other two dudes were watching, and she was like posing by these like beach weeds. And I just love these photo shoots to where like it looks like this picturesque spot, but it's really like the stinkiest spot of fucking the area that I'm at.
There are a lot of beach weeds now that you say that.
Yeah, no, that's more like the road there, but there's like this is like the corner of a Bay Area clue, and
yeah, I recognize that.
And it gets stinky in this corner, and so you don't really want to swim in this corner. People do, but
ew. What is it?
Yeah,
is it somewhere around Lake Erie?
No, but that's a good guess when I'm talking about stinky corners. Yeah.
So much so that it was on fire in my lifetime.
No fires around these parts.
They allowed swimming in a French river where they had the Olympics last year for the first time in 100 years. But not because they say they cleaned it up, but that's why they haven't for 100 years. But now since they cleaned it up for the Olympics, they opened it to the public for the first time in 100 years.
What does cleaning it up entail? I don't understand. Didn't it used to be like sewage runoff, and then they like just shut the sewers off?
Yeah,
Stop routing these.
They were bragging that they're to the point now where it's all
ocean.
natural, so they must stop. They must have stopped shocking it or whatever you do. If it's like a pool, it's on it. It's doing its own thing now. They're not. Apparently, they're not. I would assume you just add chlorine till everything's dead and hope it starts over. Don't do that.
Is that how that works?
By the way, I don't know. I've never cleaned up a river. I would assume it takes a long time, a lot of filtering. I would just drain it and refill it like I do my tub, but it's probably harder than it is said. Speaking of flooding, thing in Texas, we should probably mention it.
Well, we have our first official guess.
Yeah. Oh,
St. Joe. This doesn't look like anywhere in St. Joe, Indiana I've ever seen. I don't know where St. Joe, Indiana is, but if it's near GAIry,
GAIry stinks.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good
guess.
guess.
GAIry does stink. Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
The armpit of the nation is what it's called, because you got to kind of
really.
Yeah, because if you ever drive from the east to Chicago, you have to go through GAIry for a tiny bit, and everyone has the same reaction. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
So
Michigan City's not too far from there. I like Michigan City.
I like Michigan City. I don't get it, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's like they wish they were Michigan, but they're not.
Well, it's like they opened a store and built a city around it.
Right, yeah. No, they got a nice brewery in there. They've got a nice little zoo I went to one time. You can get lake access there. And what's the other thing?
So are you in Michigan City? There's no lake like that there.
No, I don't know.
See, I don't.
The best part is the photo is blurry, so like slightly blurry, like the it's a nice. It kind of the phone kind of did that on its own. It didn't focus right, and I go, no, that's perfect because kind of lends a little bit of mystique.
Well, depending on how much content you have, we can make this go on for like an hour.
I know, right? It's almost like you can't tell there may or may not be palm trees. That may or may not be like a white sandy beach versus like a regular, why can't I the sandstone sediment?
Clay.
Right.
So is that a Great Lake? That would shorten it up a bit.
That would. And boy, did I not just go through a few sentences that would have cleared that question up where you wouldn't have had to ask it.
So I'm more producing than hosting. We need a third person here to play the game.
Well, those may or may not be palm trees that are blurred, which is why I like the blurriness.
I went with may not be.
Yeah.
They're those fake cell towers that are always palm trees, even if they're in the middle of
Michigan.
Yeah.
Because palm trees have that perfect long tower, trunk, and then
yes,
on top.
Yeah.
And I hope GAIry makes a guest appearance.
Right.
He might.
Yes.
So while we're trying to guess
we could just call him.
Are you?
What if we just call him and he answers? Does that count? Will his wife be mad? He's like, no, Drawer's just calling me.
He's not even allowed to text anymore. He's like,
he's not allowed to text or talk to anyone on the phone. during these hours of the day. Yes.
Tuesday through Sunday only.
He's on specific fucking watch.
Monday.
He's on constant
You know what?
watch.
The last 2 times I was at his house, he was just digging this huge giant hole in his backyard. So I bet you it's a well.
For
He's
what?
probably he's down in the well now. It must be the lotion.
Did he call the dig hotline before he did that?
Miss Dig. Yeah, definitely call Miss Dig. 611, I think it is.
Miss Dig, she's a whore.
Yeah, but she's a useful. No, see, a whore. Wait, I guess a whore definitely has a use. I'm going to backtrack my statement. So while we're trying to guess your city, is it McLaren, Texas? No, the water's definitely rushing there.
Is there a large body of water?
Lots of people still missing. 80 plus people.
In Texas, why would it happen?
Flash floods, 1,000-year flood.
Fladge floods?
I want to talk about it later because a lot of people are saying... There's a
flash flood. We got a fucking gAIry missing.
A lot of people are blaming chemtrails and weather modifications, so I want to definitely touch on that on Rumble, though, because, you can't say shit like that.
You kidding me?
So the fattest city in the U.S. is McAllen, Texas. I may have said McLaren, not McAllen. Let's look for a Michigan one.
I am nowhere, anywhere near anything that I've seen so far.
Not even Canton, Ohio?
No.
Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Nope.
So palm trees has to be then south or west.
Interesting how you would
Detroit,
finally
Michigan,
pick up on that.
36th. 36th. Oh, and it's dark, motherfucker. So you're east. I'm smart. It'd only be like 7:38 if you were in California.
It's dork.
It's dork. Dork and pine trees. So you're south of what? Kentucky. It's dark, so you're parallel. You can't even if when did it get dark? When did it get dark here? Hour ago. So you're no more than an hour. All right, so that's what we got, chat. We got palm trees. We got echoes and shit coming from the hotel. Oh, you see, that would have been cool, and you made it stop. So Detroit's the 36th fattest city, but I don't see any other from Michigan.
I think you're like the fattest city. I think your mother's the fattest city.
Whoa, dude.
We get dual drawer.
Yep. Detroit, 36th. That's it.
Look at that
nice.
shit.
Wow.
Dual angle drawer.
So, are you in a state?
Look at my room now. Look how sweet this shit is.
Is it though?
Is it? I don't know. Down there.
So you stay in way more rooms than me. What makes it sweet?
The fact that I got upgraded, and so it's a 2-room suite. Sweet. I chose the top floor.
Upgrade. So you're Sorry, somebody.
I got upgraded for free. And then
how do you do that?
I don't know. It just tells you. They just tell you what. Go away, you little really cute.
I like that. It's frightening. So yeah, let's go in more.
Everybody was frightening.
It's a good hotel for you, besides just being upgraded. I mean, you got to get your money's worth. You're obviously on a higher floor. It's a suite? Does it have a balcony?
The higher floor was my own choice because I don't know. I wanted a better view, and this is just nothing but water view out my window here.
Yeah, that's good. Certain times of the year, it's not good. You cannot go out there certain times of the year.
Well, I didn't share this picture, but this is out of the.
Yeah, I don't think we can see shit. That's just a puddle of water.
Right.
So, are you in
It's not that exciting because I was just at a large puddle of water all weekend. And now I'm back at a large puddle of water.
Yeah. And it's probably pretty dead because everyone was there over the weekend.
No, it's great. That's the best part about it. It's still hot. It's hot as shit. It's not the time of year that you would like to visit an area like this, but it's still great.
So, are you in a state without an income tax? You probably don't know which ones.
I don't know.
That was too much of a.
It may or may not be. I don't know. It's very specific. Why would you ask that?
I think there's only one
Right.
down there. The other one, what are they? Texas, Washington.
Which state would that be that doesn't have an income tax?
I think it's Texas, Washington, and Florida. I could be wrong.
It could be one of those. Interesting enough.
Yeah. It's too calm and peaceful to be Texas.
Can we guess what body of water?
No.
This may or may not be. I could tell you it's attached to something that's like it's like brand new. Like a brand new body of water. It's attached to a brand new body of water.
Ryan guesses
this piece of water.
Strip club capital of the world, Tampa Bay, Florida.
That would have to be correct.
Holy shit. Has that ever happened before?
Did he freak out the clerk because they dared to say hello? Did he rage quit when they asked her, is that to go? Where in the world is
I'm right here.
Drawer, it was pretty crazy. But
it's pretty good.
So you drink one beer, you're not an alcoholic. You make one song on SoundCloud, you're not a rapper. But I
Yes, you are.
one dick.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that?
You can't guess more than once. You can't do that. Hey, you're wrong then. You just gave up. You just fucked up your first answer by answering a second time wrong.
A bit of a delay, maybe.
No, it doesn't matter. He got answer happy.
So you got to pay back your winnings.
Yeah.
Speaking of paying back your winnings, did you see the big, beautiful bill passed? Should we talk about that?
Did it?
It did.
Awesome, because I'm going to be getting some overtime this week.
And that one, I can't think of the Republican, but he snuck in a gambling provision that you can only do 90% of your losses now, so you'll be taxed more than comes in for professional gamblers.
How does that even work? I don't understand how that even what makes no sense to me. How do you lose money on a gamble and then claim it as a law? Like, I don't understand how that works. I lost money, so
if you're a professional gambler,
I can't claim this anymore.
So you, as just a commoner,
give me a tax break because I suck at gambling.
No, so if you're a professional gambler, you can go and you can file. I'm not, so I don't know what to do. But if you file some kind of tax exemption and you're able to claim your losses, just like a cost for a business. And at the end of the year, you just pay taxes on whatever you're up. If you're down, you don't pay taxes. But now, since it's only 90%, there's a couple of breakdowns on the internet that makes it sound
I still
way
don't
better
understand
than
why
me.
that makes sense.
So
why do
say
you
that
not have to pay taxes on it? Why don't?
Because it's not income.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you lost it. It was income at one point.
It sure does.
It was income at one point. It gives a fuck what you do after you make that income. After it goes into my bank,
So you're looking from a common point. This is not somebody who has any other job. Their job is gambling.
That's their job, though. That's why do they get special provisions? It's horseshit.
I don't know, but that money,
right?
I don't know. But he did it. He did it because
they have a fucking a field of job that's untraditional. So you get breaks on it because you play games with money instead of actually having a tangible skill.
I'm perfectly fine with it because at the end of the year or the end of the quarter, however you're supposed to file, depending on how much money you make or whatever type of organization you are, you're supposed as much money as you get in your pocket for profit, taxable income. You're supposed to pay the rules on that. So if they say, they never got that money, never went into his pocket. Why would you have to pay tax on that? But now with this new provision, you'll end up paying more tax than you're in. It's possible for you to pay more tax than what you brought in. Ooh, I don't know if we can say
Does this
that.
mean like black people that have more fatigue than your average person, or is this black fatigue? Like,
so the
being
comment is,
tired
I learned a new
of-
saying this week. Can you guys give me your perspective? Black fatigue.
That either means that black people are more tired than your average human because they have this deep history of
I would assume that it meant if you're in the army. Yeah, like, look, that's exactly what I thought. If you're in the army and you need to hide at night, you need black fatigue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. Black fatigue, either that or like everyone's just being beaten over the head with black this, black that. I just recently saw that there was three black men drafted to the NHL in the top some I don't know, and it was like the whatever I saw, the post was from some entity, and it was like, oh yeah, you know, the NHL, like, you know, is good, like they were proud to turn it, like to make it black, and the words were kind of like, sure, let's make it more black, let's make the NHL black, you know. And it's like, well, I don't understand why you would want to do that, or why that would be something.
And they did, but they always complained that it was way too fucking cold in there.
I just don't understand why, like, if black people are take to hockey, great. If they don't, great. Like, I don't know why we need to interject black people into hockey versus just having it be what it is.
Perfect example. As soon as you outspokenly interject black people into the NHL or black into the word,
you get black fatigue. Yeah.
Do you know what that is called? Racism. Why not just talk about fatigue? I have fatigue. I'm sick of almost everything right now. A lot of people, a lot of us are.
Yeah. Mostly some bald-headed fuckface with glasses.
Who? What? I don't know what you mean. Hopefully it comes on.
Hopefully he doesn't.
I know. Oh, you're talking about.
I will tear him a new asshole.
Flame-grilled American.
Oh, retarde. Yeah. It's fragile. Italian. Man. Black fatigue. So is that like being tired of being beaten over the head with all this, you know, you got to be.
No, see, now that makes sense. They should call that racist fatigue. But black fatigue is basically how black people feel from constantly being.
Hold on. We gotta
black.
Follow up. Yeah.
Fatigue from the current behavior of certain black people. Certain, you mean?
And what's that behavior? I don't understand what that behavior entails.
I don't like the direction of this.
Yeah, I'm not around much young people in general, let alone young black people. Curious as to how many young black people Welder 6978 is around. It's very concerning if he's around a lot of
how many
young individuals. Why is Drawer still part of this? Well, because I was going to go down and have a beer at some point because Drawer needs a beer.
Yes. Speaking of beer, dude, the segues on this show are so professional.
Right.
I have to find the beer. I have a beer segment.
Where's the queer?
Which one? Queer? You're gonna have to be more specific.
Oh, I thought it was where's the beef? Sorry.
Oh, I lost the clip. There's so much other just nonsense in here. Wait, it got real quiet.
I know.
Super quiet. I'm looking for a clip.
Well,
beer. Wait, let me.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very Darrison bite. Let's go to Terrace and look for the head of the pit.
I should have played this one in honor of Ryan.
It's hard to really hear her voice.
Lady Gaga.
With all the jigaboo music that she do, whatever you want to call it. Jigaboo.
Yeah.
Jigaboo.
City of Detroit will now fully manage staff detention center. Who would want to work at a place where they have a staff detention center? That makes no sense. Okay, wait, where's my free beer? This is bad timing, him walking down and me looking for free beer. Hey, you posted a listen to Rogan. What's that? That'll be good content, I'm sure. You're not going to talk while you're in the hallway ordering your beer? Fucking asshole.
Sorry, I thought you could hear me. I might want to unmute it. He's had like 2 bitches on his fucking podcast, or the same bitch twice on his podcast at length talking about the goddamn direwolves. Brady's have you heard of the direwolf?
Yeah, they did not bring back a dire wolf. contrary to the news.
Yeah, they made it sound like that's what the bitch said last time, because she's like, everyone's freaking out that like, it's like, no, we're not introducing it back into the wild. We just like made some and I have them captive. Like,
yeah, but they say that same quote on Jurassic Park. I'm sure this person has a valid point. Why?
No, but at first it sounded like when she was on the first time, it did sound like that they were reintroducing them. So it was kind of odd. I don't know.
I found
sounds like
it.
some
Thank
double
goodness.
speak.
All right, so you're going to get a beer.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh.
Where's my? Oh, there it is.
Do not disturb.
These are the weirdest and most mysterious diseases you've probably never heard of.
Jesus disease?
Number 1 is my favorite. It's called autobrewery syndrome. Autobrewery syndrome, also known as gut fermentation syndrome, is a strange medical condition where a person experiences intoxication from alcohol through abnormal gut fermentation. Some type of fungus. It produces alcohol out of regular food and drinks containing carbohydrates, yeast, and bacteria that thrive in that part of the body. So if you have aches and pains, by the way, this show is not medical advice. Do not listen to us.
We don't have the authority to tell you anything about anything.
Aches and pains and bloating. You know what? We don't need to list these, but sugar cravings. Wait a minute. This is me. Black fatigue. That's weird.
Is that part of your sugar for cravings?
Oh, I have something to say, but I can't. Oh, maybe this guy on the beach at your location in Tampa Bay, Florida, had persistent sexual arousal syndrome, PSAS.
Yeah, it looks like he did. Yeah.
It's also called persistent genital arousal syndrome. Causes people who live perpetually on the brink of an orgasm. Holy shit!
They both work.
So, while Jor's frozen and reconnecting, I have to say that our first clip talked about that there's no way there's hell. I would like to think that how's that worded? To live perpetually at the brink of an orgasm would be hell. Do you ever get to...
I'm going to come.
Actually, yeah, he always says...
I'm going to come.
He's never said... He never said I came. The sensations are partly relieved through orgasm. Oh, well, all right. Well, if you can still have an orgasm, but then they return suddenly within a few hours. So if you ever see that homeless guy with his eyes all looking like that squirrel from that one Ice Age movie, that might be his problem. Number 3 is walking corpse syndrome. The walking corpse syndrome, also known as Cotard's syndrome. Cotard's? Maybe it's Cotard syndrome. A neuropsychiatric disorder related to depression. Well, that sounds a little...
No, I'm just going to get a beer and take it back to my room.
This syndrome makes people believe that they are dead or missing their soul.
Am I able to get 2 beers and take it back to my room? Yeah, can I just get 2 mango carts, please?
Do you think Gary...
2 of the Konas.
Damn. All right, we'll just wait for him to finish ordering. That's backwards. So, Gary, please reach out to somebody if you're attempting self-harm. You already became speechless. You definitely have delusions of immortality in this case.
How much are they, roughly?
Or not. Delusions that one is dying dead or no longer exists. We haven't seen you. You no longer exist here. Insensitivity to pain. We can't go for that one. You have lots. You're very sensitive. Patient stops speaking. So all these symptoms I'm going over, pretty much Gary is suffering from. So I'm thinking he has walking corpse syndrome. The patient stops speaking. He hasn't been on. Refusal to eat.
Because his wife sucked the life out of him?
Well, he's having delusions of being dead. There's no afterlife. He reached such a level of depression that he died before he died. Has he been melancholy lately?
Yeah, he's been very melancholy.
Voices tell the patient that he's dead or dying. You're dead. You're dying. So we checked all those off. He has walking corpse. I don't know if number 4 is kind of like a Tourette's thing, but you can have foreign accent syndrome. Foreign accent syndrome stems from a damage to the part of the brain associated with speech. Something that I probably have. This happens when
of that too.
Person suddenly wakes up speaking a different accent. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I do that all the time for fun. Like, it's not real. It's not real.
What I want to know is, can it
Yeah,
happen
there's
if the
actual
person
like
has never been exposed to that
recordings of
accent? Is it possible? Now that would blow my mind. Where would that come
right
from? If
here.
they've never heard it, never been there, never been exposed to it, suddenly
Well,
speak to the point where it's impassable. It's
kind
passable
of like
for the
Balin.
locals.
Little baby wiener.
Number 5, let's skip a few. Stone Man syndrome. It's a rare condition where the body's tissues slowly turn into bones. Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's nasty. I think we talked about that on this show. Alice in Wonderland
I got
syndrome
Stone Man syndrome.
or Todd syndrome.
Todd Chrisley syndrome.
It usually presents migraines that can distort the person's body image, including the size of their head, hands, and feet. When they look in a mirror or when they look down? Or both?
Both.
How about number 10, parasitic twin? A parasitic twinning happens when one of the fetuses stops developing during pregnancy. A parasitic twin is then attached to the other. Oh, we've seen that we've had that on the show too with there's a South Park episode too, the baby on the face. They usually lop it off, just like what's her name's poor hands. They lop it off like what's her name's poor hands. That procedures probably happened by now. Ooh, human werewolf syndrome.
That's real.
It's characterized by it's excessive hair growth anywhere on a person's body, including the face. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Well, of course. Wait, we're all werewolves then.
All right, let's howl. How?
No, let's not do that.
What are you, a cat?
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a moment. Fuck you.
You thought we were gonna have a moment?
I thought we were. Instead.
We knew that.
This one is just simply titled Drawer on the Show. It's a little piggy. That was so satisfying. This little piggy went all the way home. And then this little piggy went.
Roll the clip, Brady. You have a clip, Brady. If the conclusions you are reaching
It's really not over. It goes on for another 14 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's all I wanted. As above, so below.
Fucking bullshit.
So there's a large gray wolf on the right and a dire wolf on the left, just for size comparison.
Oh, interesting.
And so they're calling them dire wolves, but all they did was inject some dire wolf DNA and change and make something. They made a new species that's a combination of a wolf with a tiny bit of dire wolf to make the size, kind of like the way they're splicing all kinds of shit with that. What's that thing called? It's very interesting. Splicer? Vector?
I don't know. Inserter?
Opener?
Sector?
But once they do that, they definitely did not reanimate, or what do they call it? Unextinct? It's a wonderful word. They did not unextinct the dire wolf. They made a new species that may be very similar. Like, if the way I heard it is, if it was a puzzle piece, it's so similar that you could stick this thing into the puzzle piece and it would fulfill the need. The problem is, though, is that puzzle piece existed thousands, hundreds, thousands, millions. I don't know how long ago the dire wolf went extinct. That puzzle doesn't exist anymore. So like that's why you get like the Jurassic Park scenarios. Clearly this thing needs more food than the regular wolf next to it, just by comparison, right?
It needs more food by comparison.
And any is it who studies these? Is that an anthro?
A wolf lady.
Well, when the wolf lady says, the reason these went extinct mostly was competition of prey with humans. Why would we reintroduce a competitor?
I don't know if it.
We're bored.
Hold on.
Like, I mean, we're gonna do saber-toothed tigers next and mammoths. You wait.
I'd rather do Velociraptor, but
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. What was it? It was interesting because the first time she was on, it made it sound like they were introducing them back into the wildlife, and that they did kind of just modify some shit and just kind of created what they assume is a dire wolf. When she went on Rogan's podcast the second time, she said that no, they're not introducing them back into wildlife. They are just keeping them, and that they are actually a dire wolf because it has the exact DNA, and that even though they did fluctuate, they're saying that they had no idea what the fur was going to look like once they switched his genome. Like there were things that was unknown until it became known by actually doing. And so there was no predictable notion of a lot of aspects of the dire wolf.
So the thing you notice right away is that these wolves are just a few months old, and they are like twice the size of any wolf that exists. So when they're like going to be 2 or 3, I don't know how long it takes for a dire wolf to grow,
develop and hit all of their milestones. Now we're coming up to the point in their life where they're about to go to their first doctor's appointment, their first annual exam. When they do that, they're going to have this amazing opportunity to take blood, to use CT imaging to get really advanced ideas of what's happening to within their skeleton and their musculature. So today, Romulus and Remus, at a little more than 6 months old, weigh a little more than 90 pounds, which is about 20% larger than
CRISPR.
CRISPR. Oh, wow.
We can really tell that.
Man, it's been how many episodes? Been trying to figure that one out.
We're getting these nice large wolves that
we got to guess.
Much more representative of what we saw in the ancient specimens. Khaleesi is a little smaller, a little younger.
What is the point of this, really?
She weighs about 35 pounds, but she's still tracking.
Just modifying genome?
Playing monad.
My name is Paige McNichol. I am manager of animal husbandry at Colossal, and I am the manager of the team that takes care of the daily care of the direwolf. As of right now, the roles in the pack are in flux because they're growing up and they're still youngsters. But right now, Remus is really taking that alpha role, and Romulus is stepping down and being more subordinate. So he's kind of the beta, and their personalities really play to those factors. Remus really likes to watch things and he figures stuff out. He's also a little bit smaller, so sometimes that's interesting to think that the smaller of the two would be the more dominant, but he's crafty and he's always watching. Romulus, he likes to go out first, which is very much of a beta trait, to be the one in front while the leader's leading from the back. We can see that when they eat, we can see that when they play, when they explore new things. And it may not stay that way as they continue to grow up. That may change. It could change when we add Khaleesi into the mix. As they're still young, that pack dynamic isn't set. It's still very fluid. Romulus and Remus are eating pretty much their adult diet, even though they are not adults. Their diet is that would be very similar to what we'll give them as an adult.
They look like a full-size gray wolf.
High quality dog kibble and ground meat, which is human grade. Sometimes we'll switch it out with some
they look like most dogs.
They also get some organ meats. They'll get access to bones.
So here's what I see.
It is interesting that they think that they did something unique here, because this is just a dog or wolf. This looks like every other dog or wolf, and so
you brought up a great point. Everybody's going to want one.
Instincts where they would be eating on a group.
No, because I would like a dingo. I would like a pet dingo.
Pretty much all the time.
I didn't know what you were saying there for a second.
As soon as she's
a dingo. You know, the dingo ate your baby.
Let her grow up and catch
there you go.
Speak in Seinfeld to you, in order for you to understand.
And we want to make sure that we have done all of our steps so it is very safe and a
Ooh, it's
positive
making out with
experience
a-
for all three of them.
Yeah, what is
So
that?
it's really taking our cues off of her side.
Very bad optic.
Yeah, it's one
And
mythical
then as
creature
they go
eating
through
another
the
mythical
Wait,
creature.
oh, that's what they're going to do
process, so
next.
they can
Next year we have a velociraptor and a direwolf. We're going to call it a
That's a fucking
disaster.
fire-breathing
Disaster
dragon. Come
raptor.
on.
that it seems that they're going to get along.
Who's
So
up?
we'll go ahead and move to the next
Who's
step.
up?
So before we make the introduction of bringing Khaleesi into the group with the boys, we're
Sorry,
gonna be
give me
looking
10
for
minutes to
really,
find where my
strong
sounds move to.
indicators.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are just
Samuel.
regular wolves. These are
Socially compatible.
just
We're really
wolves.
excited about that. We'll have a lot of
Yeah,
What's so
there's
dire
another
about this wolf? That's
fantastic
where Khaleesi
video.
gets closer and closer to the boys until one day we're able to open the doors and put them all out on the preserve together.
They're going to put them on the preserve together. What if they, I don't know. I'm just saying.
There's no way.
They are, yeah. They are.
I don't.
Yeah, that's the direwolf for you.
I've never seen any.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. They just brought them back from extinction.
It's completely unnecessary.
How many are there?
I don't know. Just very few. They just came back.
I think there's 2. And they're both
The
males.
video you saw.
I don't think they understand how to do it. Like, I don't trust them right off the bat. If you're making 2 direwolves, wouldn't you spin that? I mean, I know humans, you can spin this thing and it separates and you can get male and female, or like baby to order. So you can get this. I don't want to offend anybody, but you can get the biological sex like ordered. Or at least it way increases the chances. So wouldn't you think they would have made one of them female?
I would assume one and one, because how else would you?
Yeah.
How else would?
How else would you what?
Excuse me, can you hand me that 5-pound weight?
I don't know. It'll all clear up at WrestleMania, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I said the 15-pound.
What?
Thanks. Sure. Excuse me, can you hand me that 5-pound weight?
He's getting clever now.
No, I said the 10-pound.
I want to say this was called Reagan
I
joke.
said the 15.
Maybe he accidentally sent his porn link. Tricky.
Weird.
Well, my friend, when he bends down like an inch, has a nice curvature.
So we have some news, brief, quick news. If I can stop this person from talking.
Yeah, I've come across that.
The Cleveland Metro Park Zoo welcomed the birth of a baby red panda this weekend.
Oh, I love red pandas. That's like one of my favorite.
But they're worried that if it was in the Tampa Bay Zoo, that it would immediately been named something like Ember Cinnamon.
Why?
Oh, really?
Because she would have become a stripper. She would have became a stripper, obviously.
What are those?
What else happened? Ohio residents are discovering new uses for their car dashboards. Oh,
wow.
It's so hot. They're baking cookies, boiling eggs, and branding enemies.
Oh, that's awesome.
So hot. And then
It's
also,
so good.
There has been a new interstellar object discovered.
I don't know enough to make an informed comment on that.
Interstellar object, later named Oumuamua, had entered our solar system.
Oh no.
It was fast. It was strange, and it defied expectations. 2 years later, a second interstellar object, Comet 2I Borisov, confirmed that Oumuamua wasn't a fluke. Now, in 2025, it has happened again.
Again?
A new object has appeared on the radar,
Everything
and this
comes
one
in
is called
threes.
A11PI3Z.
Wait.
Unlike
We're losing our creativity, fellas. The first one was
That's
named,
what they're all.
No,
Until
the
it
first one
matters,
was
then they name it
Wambu
something
Wambu.
real.
The next one was something kind of cool. And the last one was,
32485.
right. Come on, man.
Oumuamua, which we noticed 5 days after it flew past Earth. This time, we're ready. Spotted on July 1st, 2025, and listed by the International Astronomical Union's Minor Planet
This
Center,
was spotted this week.
A11PI3Z, raised eyebrows in the astronomical community. It first showed up in the Near-Earth Object Confirmation page, flagged for follow-up.
Speed this one up.
But this wasn't just another rock on a long elliptical orbit. The moment astronomers began fitting a trajectory, the signs were clear. This object isn't from around here. Its orbital path is sharply hyperbolic, meaning it's not
Oh my
gravitationally bound to the
gosh.
sun. That's a defining trait of interstellar objects. Preliminary calculations suggest an eccentricity of around 6, the highest ever recorded for any object passing through our solar system. That confirms what many suspected from the start.
What's that?
This object isn't just interstellar. It's on one of the most extreme interstellar paths we've ever seen.
What does that
mean?
Now,
objects are considered interstellar if they travel faster than 42 kilometers per second, the minimum speed required to escape the sun's gravitational pull. A11's incoming speed is roughly 66 kilometers per second relative to the sun, which is way above the escape velocity required to leave the solar system. But to confirm its path, astronomers needed more data. Not long after the initial detection, early images were uncovered in archival Atlas survey data stretching back to June 25th. With those new data points, astronomers could run more reliable fits. And the evidence remained compelling that A11PI3Z is in fact an interstellar visitor. It has now been officially cataloged by the Minor Planet Center as 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object ever detected in the solar system. From the trajectory, we know that 3I Atlas will reach its closest point to the sun on October 27th, 2025, at a distance of about 1.4 astronomical units.
So that's
unfortunately, Earth will be on the other side of the sun when that happens. However, its closest approach to Earth comes on December 17th,
and every
at
time
a distance of 2.4 astronomical units,
rack up a high score
far enough that it poses no danger, but close enough for telescopes to keep an eye on it. After that, it will continue outward, passing near Jupiter's orbit around March 10th, 2026.
Sensors and cameras and shit
Early
on it.
images taken by astronomers show the object at a visual magnitude of around 18.8. Based on its brightness, if it has a typical reflectivity, the object could be about 20 kilometers wide. That's significantly larger than Oumuamua, and even bigger than 2I Borisov. However, it's possible that it's more reflective, or even emitting gas, which could skew size estimates. But here's where things get interesting.
Art look like a face.
If the object begins to show any non-gravitational acceleration, similar to what was observed with Oumuamua, that could open a whole new line of investigation.
Those thrusters?
Oh my gosh.
Such accelerations can be caused by outgassing, or in some exotic theories, by artificial propulsion. Which is why all eyes are now turning to the James Webb Space Telescope. With its powerful infrared capabilities, Webb could detect thermal emission from the object, revealing its temperature, size, and maybe even its shape. Another intriguing feature is the object's inclination, which is nearly 175 degrees,
it's inclined,
a steep angle that practically guarantees that it isn't a native of the solar system.
I know they meant turn.
In fact, the orientation of its orbit suggests it may have originated from the Milky Way stellar disk, the flat plane where most stars in our galaxy reside. And that opens up a tantalizing idea.
What's that?
If we can determine its incoming velocity and direction precisely enough, we might be able to trace it back to its origin system. 3I Atlas will only be within range for a short time.
I don't know.
It may brighten as it nears
I want to
the
know
sun,
where it's going.
but with Earth out of position, our chances to study it are limited. Combining ground-based telescopes, space observatories like JWST, and perhaps even spectroscopic studies could tell us if it's a comet, an asteroid, or something entirely unexpected. New reports suggest there may be signs of cometary activity, but for now it remains unconfirmed, with much more data still to come.
Oh, really?
With the Vera C. Rubin Observatory now online, its decade-long legacy survey of space and time is expected to dramatically increase the number of interstellar objects we detect, turning rare encounters into routine science. In fact, the telescope has already released its first image and has detected several new asteroids, including some near-Earth ones.
Near-Earth asteroid.
What are those?
Over 400 years ago, Galileo pointed a small telescope at the night sky and changed astronomy forever. Today, we stand at the edge of another revolutionary shift. Enter the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, which is built to sweep the sky like a scanner, night after night, and catch the universe in motion.
Not form.
It will catch everything.
Can't we do both
Asteroids
in this modern
streaking
age?
across the sky,
No,
stars
that's
suddenly
called
flaring
Apple,
or fading,
and most people with
and
any
even clues
intelligence
to
hates
physics'
it.
greatest mysteries,
Yeah.
dark matter and dark energy.
Which is totally wrong.
The telescope
Obviously,
is
people
named
love it.
after Vera Cooper Rubin, who changed astronomy with one
I don't
question.
think so.
why aren't galaxies spinning the way they should? Based on Newtonian
Loaded
physics,
question.
stars at the edges of a galaxy should
Why aren't you doing anything you're not?
Orbit more slowly than stars near the center. But Rubin found that they were moving just as fast. That shouldn't be possible unless something invisible was holding the galaxy together.
The monad.
Her work provided the first convincing observational evidence for dark matter. And now the observatory, named after her, is poised to pick up right where she left off. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory has now begun its 10-year mission. The Legacy Survey of Space and Time,
Dark matter?
or LSS. The plan is to photograph the entire southern sky.
Did you call the child the nigger word?
Again.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
I wanted to talk about.
You just said dark matter. We're not talking about.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger.
No one said that, except this lady.
None of your fucking business.
Okay, I'm sorry, lady. Maybe you shouldn't say that.
I don't give a shit.
All right.
Fuck off.
These are a bunch of pictures that I tried to show last week from the Rubin Vera something.
Rick Rubin?
Rubin Observatory, the Vera telescope.
I just want to go back to how similar these two sound.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Oh, I thought the first one was.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
And how similar these people sound.
Fuck off.
I must first of all tell you to fuck off as hard as you can.
Oh, weird, huh?
Nothing alike. One of them had no emotion, no context. The other one led you down it was like a story.
Right.
I want to
pull that up, Brady.
Man, I want to show this. You got any?
I'll pull it up for you, Brady.
I'm gonna have to.
I need to plug my computer in.
You gotta do a Dear Fladge. So all these blue things are new things that they found. Wait, there's a swarm of asteroids. That's something you don't want to hear. What? Whoa. We should probably hear
It's
that.
expected to uncover millions of new asteroids within just the first 2 years.
So this is a lot like the plane. If you've ever seen the radar overview of the United States or the entire globe of where the planes, and it looks kind of scary, but then when you see how far away planes are actually from one another, it's not this frightening. But just to think that this is an asteroid swarm, it sounds frightening.
Years of the Legacy Survey of Space and Time.
I played
How
asteroids.
mind-blowing is
Game
that?
right here.
Every night, Rubin will scan the sky, looking for anything that moves, flares, or
asteroids.
fades. That also includes objects that don't behave the way we expect, like Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object to pass through our solar system. If anything like it enters Rubin's field of view, the observatory will detect it and alert us in real time.
Great. And speaking of detecting in real time, there's a lot of bad information going around saying that because Trump cut the NOAA budget, that there weren't people to predict the Texas weather stuff. But in reality, the main weather thing that sent out the warnings typically has 2 meteorologists on staff. But knowing that the rain was coming, they had 3 meteorologists and 2 other types. They were definitely double staffed at the time. So don't believe what you hear, that because Trump cut NOAA that people died. We do definitely feel for those people that are still looking. I can't imagine the Schrodinger's cat of wondering if your 7-year-old child is alive or dead or floating down a river. It's got to be unbearable. I cannot believe. That's the kind of stuff that makes me not believe in monad or God. What God would allow that, but it's possible that maybe it wasn't God, it was man, because if there's a map of Texas cloud seeding, which I don't know if you know what cloud seeding is. It's where they put particles in the air that basically makes the moisture form faster. There's a map that shows, and they were cloud seeding in the area, and they were cloud seeding like 7 years ago, and they had a flood, and then they backed off on the cloud seeding, thinking, "Whoops, maybe we shouldn't steer nature quite this much." Ryan says, a company I work for, we just finished working on a lot of the infrastructure to launch the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. Fuck, that's a mouthful. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. The Grace Space is where they shouldn't. They're going to end up calling it the Oh, wait, no, we shouldn't shorten that. We'll have to say that on Rumble. They're going to call it the... Let's just take the NGRS and pronounce that telescope. We are currently working on the steel infrastructure for the Artemis 2 rocket bound for the moon. Yeah, because we need to go to the moon. I cannot hear you. Oh. Woo. Almost 2 weeks on having a little bout of vertigo.
Nancy Grace.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Not Nancy Grace. That's even worse. Yeah, it is. Oh my God, it is the Nancy. Is it the Nancy Grace? Not that Nancy Grace.
It says Nancy Grace.
I didn't even think of that. I don't like that.
The annoying, very annoying lady. My name is Nancy Grace. With the slight Georgia accent or whatever she has.
Do you have more information on that, Ryan? Is it that Nancy Grace?
It better not be. Otherwise, we're taking that bitch down.
Oh, no. It's the late astronomer, Nancy Grace Roman. Not the television personality, Nancy Grace. Oh, I did that one already. All right, I think that's our science portion, unless we want to do Sabina. So much Sabina. Jeez, oh, Pete. Let's just play this while we're working it out.
I disagreed on just about everything, but we always agreed to laugh first. Now, I can't tell you if this is.
I laughed second, actually.
I did hear it
I laughed third off.
himself. He said, a man called the Capitol one day and said, I'd like to speak to the head hog at the trough. Well, the receptionist was quite shocked. She said, sir, that is the Speaker of the House you're talking about. Around here, we call him Mr. Speaker or Congressman O'Neill. You need to show some respect. Well, the man said, I'm sorry. I was just calling because I wanted to make a $5,000 donation.
So no one watching the show even knows who Tip O'Neill is.
The receptionist goes quiet for a second and then says, hold on. I think Porky
just the Tip O'Neill.
It was actually funnier than Tip told.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'll be back in
it's okay.
30 seconds.
29, 28, 27, 26.
Don't do that.
25, 24, 23.
Hi, this message is for Fladge.
This message is for Fladge. Dear Fladge, go fuck yourself. Why aren't you showing back up yet? We miss you. Why are you not here? We don't actually miss you, because that would sound gay. We don't fucking miss you at all. We kind of wish you would never come back because you ruined the show because you were on the show and then you left. So you basically ruined the fucking show forever. The show will never be the same. It will never be the same with you or without you. So don't ever come back. Even though we want you back, don't fucking come back because you're a piece of shit, bitchy pussy who bitches out on things. So when you bitchy puss out on things, we don't want you back because you kind of are a bitch puss and no one wants to hang out with a bitchy pussy, which is why you and your wife are perfect for each other. Where's Brady?
I'm just as pretentious as my lab coat.
You are. It's been beyond 30 seconds, so this is absolutely horseshit. So all I gotta say is, Gary,
you're fired.
You're fired! Oh my God, you're dead. You're fired. You're never gonna work here.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
You're fired!
Fired!
You're fired!
I love your rainbow kittens.
All right, so Brady's back almost. Is Brady back almost? Brady back almost.
It's
Gary.
I'm gay. I'm gay.
Hi, Gary. You actually showed up.
As above, so below.
What do you mean as above, so below? the fuck?
Kidding, I'm back again.
Oh, he's back. He quit.
I'm back.
I got a show to run.
What are you doing? Yeah, I'm back. Gary, what are you doing? You're Fladgy. You were here, and now you're not here. Explain yourself.
I'm afraid of my wife. It's that simple.
What's wrong with your wife?
She's twice the size of me. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, I love her too. I love what she
You
does
do?
with me. To me.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't
Oh,
you?
my
Why
guest.
wouldn't you?
But she scares me. I
Why?
don't know. I don't know.
Does she know you're back on the show right now? Does she know that you snuck out to the barn now?
Oh no. Who's that?
Is she gonna knock at the door and get pissed off again?
Jill?
Where's your wife?
Mrs. Gary. I call her Mrs.
Your little fucking podcast is worth it.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
What?
That was just a drop.
Okay.
So your monologue, I thought your monologue was pretty good, but as far as like staying on topic, I feel like you did a way better job than you normally do. So how did you pull that one off?
Oh, well, Brady's doing all the writing now. I'm just in the well, putting the lotion on.
Okay. Interesting. Is that where you are right now? Why are you licking your lips? Are you eating? Are you eating on mic?
I wish I could shake my head. Yeah. Here's Gary before every monologue.
Why would you speak about yourself in the first person?
Too much information. Here's me. Boy, the voice changer might help this.
Here's me.
I thought this would be cool, but I have no content to say. So yeah, I'm not on the show. It's pretty simple because I'm afraid of my wife and I'm a pussy. Pussy.
Weird how that is.
I've said it. This just in. Perfect.
This just in. Gary built this whole studio that's behind him for absolutely no reason. It probably just sits there doing nothing now. Collecting dust. He probably sits in the chair, reminiscing, even though he's not allowed. Isn't that right, Gary?
I'm here right now.
So where have you been? Why haven't you been showing up for these shows?
I'm afraid of my wife.
Does she hurt you?
Not if I don't do the show.
This is like a Diddy situation? I mean, even though he got off on the charges, is that what you're afraid of? Your wife, even if you bring up charges against your wife?
No, it's nothing like Diddy. He still gets off. I don't anymore.
I mean, you could. Or you're not allowed to.
I'm not allowed to. The only time I got off is when I was on the show, doing the show. What?
Oh, okay. That's what got your jollies off?
What? Okay.
Doing the show is what got you off? That's what made you, like, bust?
Definitely.
Huh.
Don't you?
No.
Oops, I can't see the soundboard.
Is that the graveyard segment? This kind of is a graveyard segment. I mean,
I'm gonna come.
Yeah. Oh no, I sucked it down pretty hard.
Yeah, you do suck it down pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Oh no, I sucked it down pretty hard.
Yeah, you do suck it down pretty hard.
I just jizzed a little.
So, have you seen this? Over the past week, there was a robot on 7 Mile.
All right, check this out. Back now with Detroiters doing a double take after seeing a real-life robot taking a casual stroll along 7
Did his
Mile.
wife? Did the wife robot let him?
And it turns out
Let him walk like that? His wife robot's gonna be mad.
Yeah. What's this guy got in his trunk? What is that?
That little that little fucking robot.
Looks like the end of a ladder, but it's not really the end of a ladder because it wouldn't fit in that small trunk. What the fuck is this? Like a folding table?
All right, check this out. Back now with Detroiters doing a double take after seeing a real-life robot taking a casual stroll along 7 Mile.
Oh no! The surprising sight was
Do they
caught
have
on
to make
camera,
it look
and
like
turns out
RoboCop?
It's all part of a wild event heading
Yes.
to Detroit this summer, featuring robotic gladiators going head-to-head in combat.
But he was friendly with us. Right. 7 News
That's
Detroit
what Will Smith said.
reporter Carly Petrus has a story behind the
That's not what Will Smith says. Will Smith says, whatever. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, is what Will Smith says.
friendly with us. Right. 7 News Detroit.
Merry Christmas,
Reporter
motherfucker.
Carly Petrus has a story behind the viral video and who's putting these robots in the ring.
Imagine you're minding your own business and you see this robot walking down the street.
Some
It's like
people
running.
were understandably
It looks
upset
fake as fuck, doesn't
stopping on
it?
tracks to meet the bot better known as Zion.
Hi. Hi.
People like Eddie Abro. He works on 7 Mile.
He's like
in
whacking
Detroit.
off.
Couldn't believe it. I've seen it on TV. I've never seen it in live motion the way they're.
You never what?
Motion the way they're.
He works on 7 Mile in
People are so conditioned to like the internet and devices that they don't know what to call real life anymore. Like they.
Detroit.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I've seen it on TV. I've never seen it in live motion the way they're.
They're just normalizing us to the
Beautiful.
to the
site
RoboCop
also
takeover.
causing Michelle Pryor to pull over and check out what was going on.
Looks like it reminds me of the movie RoboCop.
But this robot isn't part of a movie set, and according to its owner, Art Cartwright, it couldn't hurt a fly or a dog.
Why the heck is there a robot on 7 Mile? Can you answer that?
Because we're on 7 Mile.
Also the founder of Interactive Combat League, Cartwright tells me he's building and battling robots right here in the Motor City.
And this is really the only place that I can think of in America where you can actually see robots live, in person, real robots, right here at RoboWar.com.
You can go to Fanic
Robots seen
Robotics.
on 7 Mile recently, promoting the upcoming RoboWar event that's on July 19th.
It's amazing. It's for
Oh, so
the
it's
family.
advertising.
Anybody can come.
But
Oh shit, July 19th, that's coming up.
beyond battling robots, giving kids in Detroit the opportunity to learn how to use this advanced technology.
Go ahead, Jacoby.
Teaching kids like 16-year-old Jacoby Wilson how to handle and operate this
Jacoby.
robot named Quantum.
What's it like to teach this next generation this new technology?
It's amazing. It's amazing, but they're picking up.
Interesting
on it
how he's wearing a
fast.
Tommy Hilfiger shirt.
You know, you can just give them the remote, tell them how to do it, and they're learning robotics. They're learning the entire spectrum of it. But I think they're more trusting of new technology than some of the older people are.
Unsure at first, Michelle says she'll definitely be at the next RoboWar event.
Yes, yes. This is just amazing.
And if you're interested in coming to this live event on July 19th,
I'm not interested in
we'll have a link
coming.
on
Maybe not to the live
WXYZ.com
event, but
so
I'm
you
definitely
too
interested in
can get your
coming.
tickets. Carly Petrus, 7 News Detroit.
All right, back up now.
Seems like
Give her some space.
Give it a little room.
Little room.
Little etiquette. Maybe build that into the robots too.
I love the terrible post-news banter.
Here we go. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. Is that enough? Or shall I go on?
Go on.
Disclaimer, the unfiltered and crude proclamation of jabber speech. Gibber, folks, listen up. Before we dive Gibber into this circus of crudeness and uncensored banter, here's our no-nonsense disclaimer, served with a side of Fladge humor. Gibber, look, we're here for a good time, not a gibber-correct time, alright? In this crazy world, we're snowflakes, applesauce, and jabber critic. We're just trying to spread some joy without stepping on too many toes. So, here Jabber, Article I, let's get Jabber. The sole gibber of our discourse, be it from guests, hosts, or any random loudmouth, is to tickle your funny ball, tease your gray matter, and illuminate the path to a mirthful existence. Any semblance of seriousness is gibber accidental. Article 2, jabber everyone equally. We're equal gibber offenders, alright? We don't give a hoot about your gibber, race, religion, or whether you prefer cats or dogs.
Here we go.
We're here to roast everyone from politicians to gibber to our own sorry selves. No gibber safe, not even grandma's
Or shall I go
Article
on?
3, screw political jabber. Listen, we ain't here to hold your hand or jabber anything. So if our jabber offend you, tough luck. We're not responsible for any ruffled feathers or gibber feelings. But hey, if you can take the heat, we promise we'll dish out some belly laughs and maybe a couple of gibber. Article I gibber, fake news alert. The tales, rumors, and downright lies you hear here on gibber is a $3 bill. Any resemblance to real life events or people, whether alive or pushing up daisies, is purely gibber and probably a result of us hitting the bottle too hard. We're pretty sure the earth is round, but jabber, who cares? Article B, jabber, cause why not? Parody and gibber are our bread and butter, folks. Any likeness to actual people or characters is just us having a laugh, not a reason for a jabber. We might not be the smartest gibber in the job, but we sure know how to stir up some trouble. So, in closing, if you've made it this far without getting your undies in a gibber, then congrats, you're our kind of people. We're just here to crack a few tasteless jokes.
Is that
Spread
enough?
some jabber
Or
joy
shall I
and
go
remind
on?
everyone that life's too short to be serious all the frickin' time. So buckle up, buttercup, and get ready for a wild ride through the absurd gibber of our humor while Fladge Rants live.